What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Back again with another breakdown of another NFL week, week number 2. Let's start off with Tampa Bay, Carolina. Tampa Bay took out Carolina 20-14 in surprising fashion. Cam Newton not having a good game, and I'm pretty sure he's injured after that. San Fran and Cincinnati went at it. San Fran ran all over Cincinnati. Cincinnati didn't have much of a chance in this one, and San Fran came into their own. They came into their own against a trash team, so who knows how they're going to do in the future. But in week 2, they got it done. Los Angeles and Detroit, another bumble, and it certainly lived up to the hype. Although Detroit somehow pulled it out 13-10, and in Los Angeles Charger fashion, they managed to choke again. And then Minnesota, Green Bay, in one of the best games of the week. Green Bay actually beating Minnesota 21-16. Really, it was as close as advertised. Minnesota did struggle throughout that game, though. Not one of Kirk Cousins' best showings, despite 230 passing yards. But nonetheless, a very good game. Green Bay establishing themselves after a very slow week 1. Indianapolis and Tennessee, this was surprisingly close. Indianapolis pulled it off by 2. Tennessee, after beating up on an overhyped Browns team, came out flat against Indy, and they just didn't recover. Surprising enough, though, Indianapolis actually got the win, and despite Andrew Luck, this is probably going to be one out of like 3 or 4 wins they're probably going to get all year. And then, as expected, New England skull-dragged Miami from one end of the field to the other, 43-0 in one of the worst beatings of the season so far. 59-10 was already bad enough by Baltimore on Miami. Now New England comes back and shuts them out. Just shuts them out in Miami nonetheless. Oh, and by the way, more players are getting traded and asking for trades as we speak down in Miami, so things are not too good in South Beach. Buffalo and New York Giants that is, well, the Giants do what the Giants do. They get their ass kicked, this time by 2 touchdowns, 28-14. The Bills get a win against a bum Giants team, who, by the way, just benched Eli Manning. More on that later for the preview for next week. And, of course, things in Giant Land are not looking good at all. And now we go to Pittsburgh, where Seattle and Pittsburgh clashed. Seattle beats Pittsburgh by 2. The big news of the week, of course, Big Ben Roethlisberger, starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, out with a hand injury, and he's going to be out for the rest of the season. So, Steelers, you're fucked. And then, now from there, we go to Washington, D.C., where the Deadskins got kicked in the face by the Dallas Cowboys 31-21. Pretty typical fashion here. I thought Dallas would actually beat them up more. Oh, and a fun fact. There were more Cowboys fans than Redskins fans at the Redskins home opener. So that tells you everything you need to know here. Week 2, Deadskins are dead. Dallas keeps on rolling. Baltimore and Arizona, another close game. Baltimore able to close it out, though, winning by 6 points. Kyler Murray put up a good effort. The rest of his team is hot garbage, including that defense, Arizona. And, of course, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens able to run over them, throw more deep touchdown passes and deep plays, and once again able to find a way to win with the offense, not having to rely too much on the defense, only in the closing to get a stop. And from there, we go to Jacksonville and Houston, where Jacksonville once again falls 13-12 to Houston. I thought this would be more of a beating. It wasn't. Houston only won by a point. Probably says more about Houston than just Jacksonville. Jacksonville's dead in the water without Nick Foles, and apparently Jalen Ramsey too, because he got into a shouting match with the head coach on the sidelines after this game. Well, during this game, I should say. It seems as if Jacksonville's trending downward. I wouldn't pick them in the future. Kansas City, Oakland. Kansas City beats them on Oakland by 18 points. This is a typical Kansas City game. They put up points on offense, held them on defense. Nothing too noteworthy here. Of course, Chicago and Denver. Chicago gets a much-deserved victory. Some people say it's controversial. I think they deserved it because the Broncos actually scored a 2-point conversion in this game and still lost the game. They were the first team in NFL history to ever score a 2-point conversion and then still lose after scoring it. So that tells you everything you need to know about Denver and where they're headed. New Orleans and, of course, the Rams. The Rams beat up on the Saints. Of course, this is the first game without Drew Brees. Actually, no, I think Drew Brees got hurt in this game. Teddy Bridgewater had to play, and of course, it wasn't pretty. New Orleans, you're probably going to be trending downward too, just like the Steelers without their quarterback. And then, of course, the Sunday Night Football game of the week. Atlanta beat Philly 24-20, close game. Once again, Philadelphia having to go to, I believe, now a third-string quarterback in Luke Falk because Josh McCown's hurt and that other backup they had, that other bum is hurt. So yeah, Philly, another team without a quarterback that has some serious problems. And speaking of quarterback issues, of course the New York Jets quarterback issues came back to haunt them as they got kicked in the teeth by the overhyped Cleveland Browns 23-13. Not close at all, wasn't expected to be close, just as I was expect. And folks, that will wrap up week number 2. Make sure you stay tuned for a preview of week number 3.